Hi there, Tom. mymotionfitness.co.uk. Good morning. My favourite time of the day, I think. You've got the whole rest of the day ahead of you and productive in the evening, but first thing in the morning, you never really know what's going to happen in the day, do you? So I have my own little routine that I wanted to share with you. It's like a warm-up for the day. The exercises that incorporate the foundations of movement, which is what we talk about a lot, isn't it? But there are also exercises and movements that you could do before any little bit of exercise. The first thing I do when I first wake up is, while I'm still waking up, still half asleep, is just give my ankles a nice big roll. Just roll your ankles one way or the other. Imagine you're trying to paint a circle with your toes, and you're trying to make as big a circle as you can. One way, then the other way. You point your toes, lift them up, scrunch your toes. We're just getting our feet, our ankles ready for bearing our weight. They've got to go through a lot every day. So we want to give them the time and the warm-up they need when we first wake up. And we're in no hurry, still in bed. Even if you are in a hurry, it only takes 20 seconds, 30 seconds to give them a bit of a roll. So once I've come downstairs and flicked the kettle on, I'll just find a wall or a pillar or a doorway, archway or something like that, just something to hold on to, give myself a bit of support. And I'll do some nice big, easy leg swings. So standing, taking the weight on one leg, almost coming up under the toes slightly, I'll do maybe 10, 15, 20 leg swings on each leg. Without forcing them, without making them powerful, just go with the swing. Feel what range of movement you have. Warming up the hip and the pelvis is such an important way. Like the ankles, we demand so much of them throughout the day, of bending down, sitting in the car, sitting at a desk, picking things up, moving around, running around, doing exercise. Like giving them a chance to wake up first thing in the morning it's a really kind thing to do for your body. So maybe, like I said, do 10, 15 on each leg, and then I'll turn side on, and again, trying to isolate the pelvis so we don't have the movement of the pelvis. The movement is all in that ball and socket of our hip. I'll do maybe 10, 15 across my body on each side. Nice big swings, but not forcing it. Just go with whatever range you have, and opening up and closing down, opening up and closing down. Try and use your breath to go with the swing. So once I've got my cup of coffee, I'll either come outside onto the mat or into the sitting room and onto the carpet, and I'll come down onto all fours. Nice wide, relatively wide knees to give us a good firm base. Hands below the shoulders, and I want to keep my neck, pelvis, back all aligned. So I'm not sort of dropping my neck down. I'm keeping it nice and lengthened out. So what I want to mobilize now is my shoulder blades. The shoulder blades can get so locked up. Just let your shoulder blades drop down without letting your back arch, your elbows bend. Just let the shoulder blades drop down, and then imagine you're pushing the floor away. Shoulders drop down, push the floor away. Of course you can do this standing up or sitting up, but there's something about that connectivity with the ground that gives you that nice feedback, a feeling of connectivity with the ground. So maybe I might do 15, 20, pushing away, dropping down, pushing away, dropping down, seeing what movement you can get, keeping it smooth, thinking more about quality than quantity. Then I might go in to do some shoulder rolls. Maybe 10 one way, big rolls the shoulders. Again, trying to focus on the movement purely being in those shoulder blades and those scapulars. And then maybe 10 the other way. Keeping nice and smooth. Then after this, keeping down on the ground, keeping the same position, I'll take one hand to one foot and one temple, and I'm just going to drop my shoulder down and open up to the sky. Again, maintaining that pelvic stability. We don't want the pelvis swinging back and forth. The key with this one is that pelvis and rib cage thoracic separation. Again, like the shoulder blades getting locked down, we can get real sort of lack of mobility between the rib cage and the pelvis. They should be able to work independently of the other rather than one forcing the movement of the other. So as you open up, maybe breathe in, breathe into the belly, and as you drop down, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. And all these exercises, quite often I'll do them with my 3-year-old in the morning. Or, you can do them with the family. It doesn't have to be you on your own. But they're good foundation movement exercises that get us started in the morning. So this one especially gets that rib cage opened up. You'll feel as you open up all across your ribs, have a nice stretch and movement. But keep them smooth, keep them controlled. Like I said, maybe 10, 15 on each side. Then I'll roll onto my back, knees at about right angles, hands by my side. So we've got this nice bend, feet flat on the floor. And with this one, I want you to focus on, again, that rotation of your rib cage, but minimizing the movement in the hips. So as you lift the hips up, imagine pushing the knees forward and reaching up above your head. So the thought with this one is control, not speed or power, is control. Try and feel the movement. Feel the control, feel your stability and the smoothness of the movement. And we want to try and drop down into exactly the same spot each time. So make sure your shoulder blades are slightly tucked under as well. So reaching up over your head, dropping back down. Reach up over your head, dropping back down. Keep it smooth, keep it controlled, but like I said, we want to drop back down to the same position each time and not be crawling with our shoulder blades getting further away from our feet. So after I've done, like I said, 20 of those, keep it nice, smooth and controlled, I'll stand up. And again, I'm looking at the hip hinge now, looking at the pelvis, looking at, similar to this leg swings, I want to actually look at that hip hinge now. So I'll do some deadlift style movement patterns. So I get some cranky knees first thing in the morning from injuries and things like that over the years. So I find the deadlift just minimizes the load on the knees first thing in the morning for me. So this one, hips back, and as you fold forward, let the head fold forward, back, neck staying nice and aligned, dropping down. Keep your hands just below your shoulders. Just let them hang straight down. And you'll find when you get to that bottom position, roughly speaking, your knees and elbows should be roughly aligned. And then standing back up, coming back down. Try and release any tension in your back. Try and focus the feeling in your hips, in your legs. Try and release any tension in your back and deload that area. And maybe I might do 10, 15, 20, depending on what time I've got or how I'm feeling first thing in the morning. But just keep it smooth, keep it controlled. So those are my go-to little routine exercises for first thing in the morning.